Here on Translating Faith, we're building bridges to understanding one conversation at a time. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Madison. I am a Christian. I work in the nonprofit sector and I'm also an ordained pastor. Our topic today is why did they leave? Common reasons young adults like me disengage from church. You might have seen my first video about understanding the journey of your adult children after leaving the church. And today we're going to talk about some common reasons young adults are disengaging from the church. Reason number 1, the church feels irrelevant. I know that sounds a little harsh, but I'm sure you've sat in a pew before at some point in your life listening to a sermon when your mind starts to wander. You're kind of bored. The sermon has nothing to do with your life. The content isn't powerful, the preaching style, not much better. Young people today love to learn, but if they're not listening to a sermon that feels genuine or intellectually stimulating or even just relevant to their everyday lives, it's going to be easy to start skipping Sundays. Reason number 2, hypocrisy. Now, you ask most people my age why they left the church, and I can almost guarantee you're going to hear the word hypocrisy. Younger Christians and just people of faith in general are tired of the church preaching one thing and doing another. Part of this awareness of hypocrisy, of course, has to do with the media. We're now not only aware of our own home church, but media and access to social media allows us to hear about churches all over the world. We see just so much more than we used to. It's like the veil has been lifted on dangerous and hypocritical church practices. So maybe your home church is fine, but all the other Christian churches that your kids are hearing about are in scandal. So when a preacher, especially a public preacher, talks about love and support of the marginalized but isn't involved in the community, or spouts off about ethics and morality, but just got caught in a major sex scandal, young adults start to figure out that there are plenty of other organizations doing good work without religion, without hypocrisy. Reason number 3, love and justice. I understand that this is where I may get some more traditional folks flinching a little bit with those words. But whether you're a traditionalist or a progressive, the fact remains the same. Your kids are seeking spaces where all people are welcome. They don't want a church where everyone looks, acts, or loves the same. They likely don't even want a church where everyone believes the same. They're looking for a spiritual community that responds and adapts to cultural shifts in ways that are more loving and more respectful of everyone, especially those at the margins. Invite everyone to your table. Reason number 4, trauma. Trauma comes in many forms, and I mentioned earlier about hypocrisy when it comes to sex scandals. It's possible your adult kids have witnessed unethical or even dangerous behavior in the church. Hopefully they've not experienced it, but they might have. Trauma also stems from fear and an insular environment of control. If your adult child grew up in a church that was overly fire and brimstone and taught more about what not to do versus what we should be doing, it's possible they have an inner trauma response that makes them scared when it comes to religion. Or maybe, and this has happened in my own life, they've gone through something really rough and their faith community and the pastor wasn't there to support them. The pastor didn't check in, no one gave spiritual support. That can cause an immediate negative gut reaction anytime in the future that things are tough. There's now this ingrained expectation that their faith community won't be there as a support system because that's what they've experienced in the past. Now, I know trauma often sounds like a buzzword in my generation, but it's not. The definition is actually really simple. Trauma is simply the lasting negative effects from a distressing or negative experience or incident. And each individual's threshold for trauma is different. So try and make space for your adult child's experience and listen if they describe a troubling event that affected them. Reason number 5, doubt. The last reason, although I'm sure there are plenty more, the last reason we're going to talk about is doubt. Now, many religious communities don't provide space for doubt, but doubt is beautiful. Doubt is biblical. Because how strong is your faith really if you've never doubted before, never been tested? One of my favorite pieces of scripture is, Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. By creating religious spaces or family environments where your kids know that it's okay to have doubts, it provides a little more breathing room. Lastly, it's important to remember that these reasons often don't cause a rejection of faith, but a rejection of harmful church culture and often of disingenuous church leaders. In our next video, we will talk about how to talk to your adult children about faith without pushing them away. Until then, I'm Madison, and this is Translating Faith.